has had plenty of incidents over the course of this season. Turning point of the campaign in Most. We've seen drama in Portimao, a circuit where he was expected to dominate, but he's getting off to a good start to what will be his first ever Indonesian round. Riding on board here with Toprak Razgatlioglu, you can see Ray is beginning to stretch at the tiniest of margins, couple of tenths of a second the gap.
Yeah, and Ray just trying to edge himself away in that middle sector of the lap, as you said earlier on, Alex, really strong in that final sector. Toprak's going to have to try and just maintain that gap as it is. Second position is good enough for Toprak, but he wants to make sure he's able to stay with Ray. He wants to make sure that it's as safe a race as possible for him, as much as anything else. The safest way for that for Toprak is to race this naturally, try and stay at the front of the field, try and break away from Bassani and Redding.
Yes, exactly, that's the key. Break away from Bassani and Redding, well, particularly Bassani at the moment, because Redding has been dropped from the lead trio. He's half a second now behind Axel Bassani across the last timing point. Then there's a full second to Tom Sykes, although Sykes has made a few tenths on Redding this lap around, so Scott Redding seemingly struggling on lap 8 of 20. We come off the final turn to start lap 9. It's Jonathan Ray out in front, another new fastest lap of the race as the track conditions gradually improve. Razgatlioglu in the slipstream, not close enough this time around into turn 1, but he was less than a tenth of a second behind over the line. Nothing to choose between them all season, nothing to choose between them last lap either.
Yeah, and this might be the title decider in round, but certainly what we've seen all the way through this year is that these two riders so closely matched out on track all the way through this year. Pretty much every race we've seen them battling bar to bar. Looks like we're going to get the same here in Indonesia as well. Toprak, he looks like he's starting to push on a little bit. That's why Bassani's dropping that tenth of a second here, tenth of a second there, and that's opening up the gap between Razgatlioglu and third.
As it stands, Razgatlioglu doesn't need to take any risks trying to pass Jonathan Ray. He only needs to stay in front of Axel Bassani and Scott Redding to be world champion, but he's taking risks anyway. They're going to touch, surely they're going to touch. Just about. Jonathan Ray squeezes out of the way, and Toprak Razgatlioglu forces his way to the front on lap 9 of 20.
Jonathan Ray said on Friday, if you make a move into turn 10, you're not respecting your rival on the racetrack. And for Toprak there, he went in a little bit too deep. You saw that he had that ender on the run in towards turn 10. He was braking as hard as he could, and that wasn't a planned move. That was Toprak just adapting on the fly to that.
Now we know how strong Jonathan Ray is in through the final sector. Is there an opportunity for him to immediately respond? Surely that's going to be the key here for Jonathan Ray. Can't allow Razgatlioglu to escape at the head of the field. This is where Ray's been making up his time on his direct rival, but he's tucked in behind him. There's no way to get through in towards the bottleneck at turn 17. Might have to be a move in towards turn 1 at the start of lap 10 here. Razgatlioglu sees daylight in front of him, sees dark clouds above him, but is the race leader once again. Jonathan Ray ducks out of the slipstream in towards turn 1. Ray's going to be very aggressive here on Razgatlioglu. He's not close enough, and Toprak holds firm out in front.
Yeah, you're going to do well to outbreak Toprak in the run in towards turn 1. You can see with that though from Jonathan Ray that this isn't boxing, this is a barroom brawl. You've got to make sure that any opportunity you have, you just send it down the inside, see if you're able to make the moves. Ray not quite close enough on the run into turn 1, but you could see a little bit of a change for him there. He wanted to make sure he was in a position to try and attack, and we haven't always seen that through the course of this year in those types of corners from Ray.
Well, let's see how much respect Jonathan Ray has got for Toprak Razgatlioglu when we get in towards turn 10 here on lap number 10. He's very close to him coming off turn 9. Will Toprak be deep enough on the brakes? Yes, he will. Jonathan Ray can't find a way through. A momentary twitch.